Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Carver Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. This meeting is being cablecast by Area 58, Community Access Media, Channel 15, and will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. We've got a relatively small agenda tonight. We'll get right to it. The first order of business under discussions in business is a discussion of Cranberry Bog remediation plan at 187 Meadow Street. Do we have a sign-in sheet, Emil?
You need a pen, Emil. Oh. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How you doing? Thanks for having us.
Okay. We see your new plan, Emil?
Yeah, so last time we had met with Bruce and Derek. We had asked them to create a bog remediation plan to kind of outline what they were going to do in terms of adding a water source. And they had asked if there was a possibility to create a tailwater pond on the property for that water source. They have drawn up that plan. It shows, the location of that pond and where the bog roads would be to access the back of the area. They've also done calculations for square footage on how much bog was filled in and how much bog that they're replacing. If you look at the plan, it says the original bog area was 1,500 or 152,478 square feet, and they're replacing 158,084 square feet, including the tailwater recovery pond. And so this is a opportunity for you guys to review the plan that they've outlined. Derek and Bruce have been, sending me copies of this, and I made some comments, and they've made all the changes that I had asked them to make, just based on our requirements. And so this is the plan that they have for you guys to review and take a vote on tonight.
Okay, I mean, I've looked at the plan and it seems as though all of our questions have been answered, and it looks good to me. I think that after a lot of back and forth, we're in a place where this is pretty much what we were looking for. Does anybody else have any?
No, I agree. They did exactly what we asked them to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like they went a little bit further, so that's even better.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think you guys, you put a lot of work into it, and I think it looks really, really good.
What is our next step here?
So it would just be to vote to approve this, and in the past we had asked them to stop work, so this would obviously allow them to go forward, start that work to remediate this bog and get it up into working order for the next season. I assume that was the plan. So
We hope.
Okay. That being said, I will entertain a motion to.
Close the discussion first?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Nah, I guess not.
It's not an open hearing.
not a public
Yeah,
hearing,
okay.
so no need to close the public hearing. It would just be to approve this as the plan going forward. This would be the plan that they would follow for the
Right. Okay.
remediation project.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the plan as drawn for 187 Meadow Street.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Dave made the motion, Carl seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? All right, we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice job,
It took a
guys.
while,
Thanks for
but
all the hard work, guys.
thanks.
Thank you folks for volunteering.
Yeah, good luck with the rest of the project.
Can you sign that in? Is there a what? I'm sorry? 6/27/24.
We should get this signed. We should put a sticker on this and get it signed.
Fine then.
Yes.
All right, let's wait till they say.
You have a sticker?
It's on this stamp. I'm just going by what it says on the stamp.
Take this one. Here, Bill. You got a cigarette, haven't signed
That's generally when I
Just haven't signed the
assume
plans.
I'm sure you know.
Anywhere over here.
Want it dated?
That'd be great.
7/24. And I'll wait till everybody signs. Thank you.
So do we all sign?
Yeah, we all sign this too. And that becomes the one that goes into the records. All right.
Thank you, Savy.
Thank you both.
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you all.
much. Should I get a picture of that?
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can.
You want to wait till we all sign it or what?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll get
I don't want to hold anybody up
Get
behind me.
around you.
You might as well.
Be like a basketball or a baseball or something, right?
It'll be worth some money someday.
Right. Well, you never know. I mean, it's sort of a treasure, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you will treasure it.
We all be
Lock
famous
it up.
one day. You never know.
But maybe we'll work again, together again. This board's been great. You guys have been fair with me.
Thank you.
And Emma, I'm not going to praise you just yet because
Thank you. Thank you so much.
he's pretty much got it, but we'll see. All right, Tom, take a picture of that with you. Look at that. Yours, brother?
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Take care. Okay, next up, discussion of AD Makepeace proposed access road improvement, Smith Hammond Boggs.
So I've got a copy of the letter here. I'm not sure if you've all had the chance to read it. Basically, it's from GIF Engineering stating that their client, AD Makepeace Company LLC, is planning to conduct some work under normal maintenance and improvement of their land and agricultural use of Federal Road at the Smith Hammonds Bogs. Basically, what they're planning to do is make a improved access way across a canal that's used for the cranberry bogs to the south. The canal is fed from, I believe it's called Golden Field Pond. This is a pond that's kind of tucked away back off of between Federal Road and Wareham Road. And they had come and discussed, with myself and Savory that they were planning to do some improvement of this area. So this is their plan that you guys have in front of you. And according to the letter, it also says that they're eventually planning to demolish one of the old buildings over on that side. So if you guys have any questions, I don't think Bill Madden is going
I
to
have a
be here
question.
tonight. Sure.
So I read the letter, and I know that this is part of the regular agricultural work, but it is right on a pond. So I did notice, I think they're going to take down that dilapidated pump house. Is there any, I'm not familiar if we have any jurisdiction or make sure that's done properly. Like there is vegetation around the wetland there. I'm just looking for your expertise on that.
Sure. So typically, when it's demolishing a structure, we typically don't require specific permits for the demo of a structure. Obviously, there are requirements for how they do that, but if they're planning to just raise it and take it out of our jurisdiction, typically that's seen as a positive thing. I haven't been out to this exact site at this stage, so I'm not sure what the status of the vegetation is there, but there is if you look at the plan, there is kind of a existing access that's going across that canal there,
Right.
with several culverts or flumes shown on there that I guess are used to allow water from Golden Field Pond to come into the access channel. So my guess is that those would stay. It doesn't say anything about removing those. They would certainly have to do the demolition and in a way that's not going to cause like erosion. Any agricultural exemption still has to respect the resource area when it comes to like erosion, clearing unnecessary vegetation. Like they have to still stay within those guidelines which are set forth in the regulations. However, they don't need to come for a permit if they're doing stuff like normal maintenance or improvement, which again is a pretty broad,
Yeah.
could be considered as a pretty broad definition. It also has to be in land and agricultural use, which means basically that the land is being used to produce an agricultural commodity that is then also being the intent has to be to basically sell that commodity for a profit. So those are the kind of requirements that are in place for agricultural exemptions. I think I sent you guys the kind of the farming and wetlands resources
Yep, you
document
did.
from the state that kind of gives you a little bit of guidance on how the state act looks at these.
Yeah, thanks for sending
Issues.
that, by the way. That's super helpful.
Yeah, it's really helpful, especially in this town,
It really is.
to understand this. And they even give you some examples of how the regulations work, because they are very complicated. So it's helpful to kind of really think about it and see that it's meeting those definitions. I think for cranberry bogs, access road improvement is a pretty standard
Right.
thing.
Right.
And in this letter, they haven't actually stated that when they plan to demo the building. I think it just kind of says in the future it will be necessary to demolish that at a future date. So I'm hoping that they'll get in contact with me and maybe I can go out for a site visit at that time and see what needs to be done for that. But specifically what we're here to discuss tonight is the access road improvement, how they're going to get across that channel, because they're going to need to get across the channel. And I guess right now they're a little bit worried about going over that particular part of the road, being such an old kind of section of the road,
Right.
and having those flumes underneath that. I'm not sure if that's what kind of causes it to be less stable.
Right. So they need to fix it,
trucks.
basically. Yeah. Thank you. I just
Yeah,
wanted
no
to ask
problem.
that
So the
question.
building they're gonna rip down is this one that says dilapidated pump house, the sort of long skinny one there?
Yes, it's the long
Yeah.
one on this drawing.
And this stifled area, that's gonna be, that woods now? Is that wooded area right now?
Which area?
The dotted area here?
No, so I have an aerial image that I can pass around for you guys.
It's currently sand or
It's
open?
basically a sandy road. Let me see.
That's okay.
I mean, you guys might as well see it. Right now, this is the crossing. If you look really closely, there's a building there, but this is all open space.
Oh, it's all open right now. Right below pH. 5.2.
Yeah, so I would note in there that there is a priority habitat around Goldenfield Pond. It seems like they're kind of trying to work around that by making that access road go further away from the pond itself and further down the canal. But
That's
it
good.
it is very close to that priority habitat.
Yeah, and that
Uh,
was my question. We see a lot of old pump houses, and I mean, they could have gasoline, who knows, like things that you don't want in a priority habitat.
Definitely, definitely.
I-
I'll reach out to them and, just clarify that, when that building has to come down, that we should have, another conversation, and they should, make sure that everything that's inside of that building, as well as the work itself, is done with respect to the pond, as well as any, endangered species, especially that might be around there. I think they're probably still going to have to reach out to the Natural Heritage Endangered Species Program and get their input, especially for any work that's within that area. I just think the most of this work is specifically kind of to get away from the pond.
It's good.
And I think one way to look at this is that if they were not doing the road and they needed to tear down an old pump house, they wouldn't have to come to us at all.
Right.
They would just do it.
No, I know. I was just curious, like, how that's handled.
All right, so I'll, again, we're just approving this plan, correct? As agriculture, nothing further has to be done? All right. I'll accept a motion to approve the plan as drawn for the 80 Makepeace proposed access road improvement as an allowable change based on agricultural exemptions.
So moved.
Second.
All right? Carl made the motion, Dave made the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? Okay, that's done. All right. Next up, discussion of an above-ground pool installation at 56 Great Meadow Drive. Hi, how are you? Good. Could you just make sure you sign in, please? Okay. Thank you.
Got it. Yeah, so Scott had come to our permitting department to get a building permit, and before he came to the building inspector, he had a discussion with me about, he wants to put an above ground pool in his backyard, and it's kind of just within 100 feet of the wetland. It's a kind of a isolated pond at the rear of the property. It seems like, I guess, the neighbor across the street has like a, it looks like a horse
I think at one
farm.
point, and I've only been there 7 years, so I'm going by what other neighbors told me, that there is like, if you look from the backyard, there's like a small farm area. So at one point they had horses, and supposedly that pond was made, like, installed for water for horses. Again, I'm taking that as the neighbors told me accurately, because they've lived there. The people in that house lived. The husband had lived there forever. It was the house he grew up in. So I'm going with what they said. I've only been there 7 years, so I'm not sure
Okay.
if it's accurate or not. To be honest with you,
That does seem consistent with just the aerial imagery, because it's really an isolated pond. There's no wetlands really anywhere around it, other than there's a big cranberry bog, further down the road. But based on the aerial imagery, it looks like pond exists back to at least 1995. It's hard to tell from the aerial imagery in 85 if it's there or not, but it's definitely been there for a while. It's also like approximately like 17,000 square feet, so it fits the definition of a pond under the regulations. So that's why they have the 100-foot buffer zone drawn on the plan. The state regulations have exemptions for minor activities If you convert a lawn to a pool, that's considered a minor activity according to the state regulations, and they put those regulations into place, I think, in 1992, specifically to reduce the burden on like homeowners to have to come to the Conservation Commission for every little thing. However, the town bylaw is a little bit more strict than the state regulations. It says anything that is built within 100 feet of any resource area, and it doesn't designate, man-made or, as you know, natural wetland. It says that if anything needs to be built within 100 feet, it needs to be authorized by a vote by the commission. And that's why I checked with Savory, and he said, he should come in for a discussion. Dave and I went out there earlier today to Scott's house. It is like a lawn area right behind his deck there. So if you guys have any questions, this is your opportunity to ask Scott.
Yeah, when we went out there, you guys didn't go, there's a shed back there and everything. It's pretty tight backyard, and the pool area is pretty small, really.
Yeah.
And it's only that little corner. The only issue is it's pretty steep down to the water. That'd be the only thing. I don't know I don't know anything about pools, but when you fill it, do you leave it filled all the time? You don't
Yeah, so-
discharge water down the hill or anything, do you? Or,
No, so it's an above ground pool,
Yeah.
so it's a permanent structure. It's not one of the ones that you just kind of put up yearly. So
Yeah.
being a permanent structure, you'd leave the water in each season. The only reason you'd ever drain the water out is if, say you had to replace the liner.
uh-huh.
The liner for this type of pool is stronger than a lot of above ground. It's equivalent to what a liner that you use in an in-ground pool.
Okay.
So I don't know what each gauge is, but it's a 20. So this they said is a 25, which is I guess one of the higher ones. I really don't know that detail to it. It is a saltwater pool, not a chlorinated pool, so you don't have all the added chemicals that you would with like a chlorinated pool. The pool company told me that the tablets are equivalent to what you would put in your well for drinking water. Again, I don't have much background in that, so I'm just going with what they say for that part of it. But I do know, like with the saltwater pool, if you're not familiar, you don't have like the chlorine tablets in it all the time, and so you don't have all that added chemical. I don't know if I really answered your question.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, my only question, and it's cool that you're putting in a saltwater pool, is I had a pool back in the day and I had to like backwash a filter. And when I did that, a lot of water came out. And my question is like, where's a filter?
yeah, this one, it's not like a sand filter or the earth filter where you backwash them. I guess you just take the filter pad out and kind of
Okay.
spray it off, and then you put it back in. So it's not, because
You don't-
I used to have
you
a
don't
pool
do
where you
that,
had
so
to
you don't have to do it.
backwash
Yeah,
it, and
it's horrible. Yeah.
but I guess this style pool, like this style filter, you don't do the backwash.
Okay,
like
cool,
you would.
perfect, thank you.
I mean, it's a pretty developed area. I mean, it's not like I don't think it's going to impact much.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically there's no footings for this pool. It's just you would remove the grass, grade the area, put sand down, and then
Yeah.
the pool would be on top of that. It's a 12 by 20 pool, but there is a deck kind of that
Yeah,
goes around
The
the.
deck's
So the-
elevated, right? above
Yeah,
ground.
so the swimming area is 12 by 20, but then there's 2 feet of deck on either side, but there's no like, that's just attached to the pool. There's no, nothing going into the ground anywhere for that piece of it.
The deck's on struts off to the side from the frame.
Looking at the picture, it looks like maybe there's the piece coming out of the side of the pool, but not
Yeah.
actually in the ground.
Okay, that was my question. Okay, good. All right. Anybody else have anything?
No.
Nothing? No. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the above-ground pool installation at 56 Great Meadow Drive.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Dave, Carl. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. We're approved 4-0. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
You're good to
Thank you
go.
guys. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Scott.
the pool.
We'll sign off on that building permit, and I think the health inspector has to check it out, but After that, we'll get back to you and let you know when it's all signed off.
All right, thank you.
Hopefully you get it done before it gets too cold.
Yeah, I hope we can use it, yeah.
Could have used it last week.
More for next year.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thanks.
Thanks.
All right, next up, payment of fiscal year 2025 MACC dues.
Yep, so we got an invoice from the MACC. I think I told you guys about it a couple meetings ago. So I reached out to them. I asked them to add Curtis to the list. It doesn't change the price, the amount of commissioners. I found out it's all based off of a certain calculation that they do based on the municipality. And so I got them to add Curtis to the list, and I added myself instead of Gary. Change the contact information for the MACC to contact our office. So basically right now we just have to approve the invoice to pay the amount of $461 to the MACC for the yearly MACC membership dues.
So,
Okay.
what does the membership do for us? Is it just that we what do we have access to?
Yeah, so basically the dues cover your membership for all conservation commissioners that allows, to have access to all of the courses,
Seminars.
I think there's still a fee for certain, like things that you sign up for. However, it's discounted for members. So it kind of just keeps you in the loop on all of the stuff that they're doing. They also do a lot to support conservation commissions just because, they're a resource for us to reach out to, ask questions that we may have. See if it gives anything else.
I mean, so their website has
Yeah.
a lot. I
I've
mean,
been-
I get emails and everything. I'm
too.
assuming you all do. So
I've
yeah.
been to one conference once.
Oh,
Yeah, so it
Was it good?
says
Yeah, it's good, but it's very you got to know kind of what you're doing. You got to know
Yeah.
what you want to look at because you've got
Right.
a bunch of things going on at the same time. Yeah,
Right.
it was informative. It's good.
Yeah, I went to a
so
few
it
of them.
says members get discounts to receive reduced rates to attend conferences, workshops, trainings. New commissioners receive 1 year free access to online interactive training program. You also have the MACC helpline, which you can ask difficult questions, and they'll give you, their experienced answers. Trainings. They also offer a wetland handbook that is $20 for commission members. And then they do annual environmental conference and field workshops, and they send you all those updates via your email.
So,
Right.
just a question: is there money to if somebody else wanted to go to a conference? Do we have money for that? Like,
We should.
Yeah.
I believe there is money in the
Okay,
budget
okay.
for trainings and stuff like that. It's a limited amount, but I can give you an update on that.
Yeah, because some of the people might want to go. Just
All right. Anybody else have any questions about this? All right, I'll entertain a motion to pay the $401 and
$461.
$461 for Mac
so moved.
and and Dave. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. I should say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. It's approved unanimously. Okay, we'll get to the minutes in a minute. Let's go to any topics not reasonably anticipated. There are two items. I have one and Dave has one. I'm going to go first because it goes into the money issue. I happened to see former Commissioner Alan Germain last night, who was also chairman of the Finance Committee. And I said, they lost our money again, our wetlands protection money. So he made some phone calls this morning and found it. It is called, right now, it's called the Wetlands Protection Account, and it has $60,000 in it. Karen, the finance director, is going to rename it the Conservation Wetlands Account. And that should happen relatively soon. I'm going to meet with Karen probably next week. I got to come in and pay my taxes. But the money is there, so we can, once that's all straightened out, we can get back and get Aiden and Country Mile back to Lakeview Street to mow the lawn. We've got a little money for other things that may happen, like maybe if the conservation stewards want to do something at Savory Avenue, we have a little bit of money. So it is still there. It hasn't been absconded with and put into the general fund. It's still there. It was just kind of misnamed and kind of lost, but we found it. We're going to rename it so we have it for so we can find it whenever we need it. So that's good news. And Alan, if you're watching, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, thank you.
Getting
That's
that
been
done.
a source of quite a bit of confusion
I
in
was
the town
talking to
hall.
Neil this morning about that. How come the lawn's not getting mowed and all that stuff?
Yes, well, I think we can talk to Aiden
Right.
fairly soon, hopefully next week, and have him go back out there and continue with what he's been doing, because it's looked great. What he's been doing, he's been great. Now we have the money, and this is what it's earmarked for, is maintenance account. And it's gonna come in handy because we keep getting these properties, and especially we now have the property out by the airport. I'd love to do something there, get a fence along the property line there through the backyard where the old barn used to be.
You mean Wade Street? Wade Street?
Yes,
Yeah,
Wade
yeah,
Street. Yeah, where the barn used to be, where the property line was in question. I'd love to put just a split rail fence there to delineate what's ours and not. Okay, so that's my unanticipated topic. You wanna?
Yeah, I was able to get a hold of Dan Badger, and he was on the Conservation Commission. If you guys weren't here before, and he was sort of taking lead on 44 Lakeview Street and Cole property too a little bit. Anyway, I asked him, told me he wanted to kind of be able to use the money. We have $50,000 from CPC to build an outdoor classroom there. So I suggested he come in and give us what he had at the next meeting, maybe at the end of the next meeting, so just sort of informally go over, how can we move forward on this? Because we have the money, it's sitting there, and we're not really doing anything with it right now. So he said he would, but I just got to let him know, when the next meeting is and when, he'll come in and try. I assume he'll make the meeting. He might not, but he'll try to
Okay.
come to the next meeting.
All right.
Because the way it was been set up is the way he did it was I think a lot of the labor was going to be in kind,
Yes.
and he has these contacts, and he wasn't sure if we still wanted to continue with that or go another way. So hopefully he'll come in and we can get some of that stuff straightened out.
So the next meeting should be August 7th.
August 7th, okay.
Um, That's
Do
the first
we have-
Wednesday.
Do we have items on the agenda already?
Not that I am aware of at this time. I'll keep you guys updated. I know there are several projects coming down in the
We're-
future, but I don't think we have anything specifically for that meeting at
Are we
this
kind of
point.
late on time if there's something has to be posted?
Yeah, we don't have time for anything to be posted as a public
Public
hearing. Yeah, so if you guys want to push that off, the next meeting after
Well,
that.
let's see what comes up. I mean, if it's just a COC or something,
Right. Yeah,
we
okay, I'll
could
keep
be-
you informed. After that would be the 21st.
we could ask Carl to stay home so we can do it in 10 minutes.
I think Carl would be happy to have a short meeting off.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's find out whether or not. So why don't you tell Dan tentatively the 7th,
The 7th.
based on how many items we have on our agenda.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have a public hearing and there's not enough time to get one, so we may postpone it till the
21st?
21st,
Okay.
I would think. Okay. Minutes, has everyone read? Oh, Andy, do you have something that you want to
Yeah, I
add?
was just going to ask. So we talked about using CPC funds for that Buzzard Bay Coalition from the last meeting, didn't we?
Well,
That was 75,000? Was that coming from a
that would be-
different
That's way down the road.
That's
So that
next year's
would
town
be
meeting.
next year?
year.
That has to go to town meeting.
Yeah.
So are you
Oh, yeah.
saying that the
What you're-
CPC is already approved?
Yeah, that money's already set. It's already been
For
set.
an outdoor
Yeah, this
classroom?
was, the outdoor
Yeah.
classroom
Okay.
was approved last year's.
Was it just the pavilion or was it the fence and
Well,
the birdhouses?
The way Dan was talking, it was going to be the fence,
Right.
the birdhouses, and possibly that overview deck, the deck.
Oh, the
thing.
deck at the point.
The bird watching deck or whatever.
All right.
As long as I remember, the money was approved for the whole project,
Right.
Okay.
But it's $50,000. That doesn't go very far,
Well,
these
you know,
days. But we
within
can
kind labor, it does.
Yeah, within kind it does, but we got to get the people to still, who are willing to still want to.
Well, I think that maybe once we talk to Dan and find out what happens, we'll have to like maybe put together some kind of a subcommittee to bid this stuff out if the in-kind, if Dan's volunteers are not available and see what we can do with that money. We may not
And-
get everything done.
I'm happy to, I mean, I've done that with other
Okay.
organizations,
All right,
but, so
let's
I'm
see
happy
what
to
Dan
help.
says. Let's see what Dan says.
It makes sense though, that I just wanted to understand why that was already set.
Yeah, the
I didn't
money
know
was
about
already-
that, yeah.
Even before I came here.
And the
Yeah, so
Buzzards
the
Bay
Buzzards
Coalition
Bay
is for
Coalition
future-
hasn't
Yes.
yet
Okay.
made that application, but
Yep.
they are going to, I think, in the future seek that application. It's actually $300,000
Right.
from the CPC, so it's quite a bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think, we'll see when they get that application going, and hopefully we can support them in that. It's again, it's a great project, and quite a bit of open space that would be available for the town. So
yep, that all makes sense, thank you.
And the Buzzards Bay people, they really ride herd on that stuff. They don't leave any details out, so they
Right.
kind of take care of all that paperwork and all.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good. And it is a good project, as Emil said. All right, minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read them?
Yes.
All right, I have one little minor typo that I talked to Ashley about. And it was the word ARE was missing. About 10 sentences from the bottom. That's been fixed. So I'll accept a motion to accept the minutes of July 9th as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Carl? Dave? All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of 7/9 as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. We are done. Now I'll take one last motion to adjourn.
Close the meeting.
Adjourn.
Adjourn the meeting, right?
I'll second.
All right, it's
Sorry.
been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none. We're out. Thank you, Area 58.